Good afternoon, Fargo. Fargo City Commissioner Tony Gehrig here with your how I voted for the March 25th, 2019 Fargo City Commission meeting. Today we have three things to talk about, mostly revolving around incentives, which is topical, I guess. Beautiful day out in Fargo, so I'm going to try to get this done quickly so I can go ride the motorcycle. Number one, expanding the Renaissance Zone. So the Renaissance Zone is a downtown, basically downtown Fargo as it exists today. If you think of downtown, that would be where the Renaissance Zone is. However, we do have a few more blocks that were allowed by state statute to add to the Renaissance Zone. All the blocks have to be congruent. They have to be touching each other, except for one. So we have downtown. We added a block to it, another block on there. And then we added a block that's kind of up north of the train tracks over by Oak Grove, which is not congruent, not touching the RZ, which is legal by state law to have one that doesn't. Okay, number one, we need to stop expanding the Renaissance Zone and start contracting it. Or two, we need to start moving it out of downtown. There are plenty of places in the city of Fargo that need help. If you've driven around some of the neighborhoods in Fargo that aren't so nice, that aren't quite as nice as the other ones, why don't we put a Renaissance Zone on top of those? If we're going to give them tax incentives, why not do it in blighted areas? That was the whole intent in the first place. We said that tax incentives are used for blighted areas to make them nice again. That's not what we're doing downtown. Downtown is the most expensive land in North Dakota without oil underneath it, and we're adding more and more incentives, and we're expanding the Renaissance Zone. So what I said is, hey, instead of putting that one that can be removed from the Renaissance, that doesn't have to be congruent, why don't we move it somewhere else in the city of Fargo? Let's move it to South Fargo on University, over by Bernie's Liquors, or whatever you want to do, and see what it does over there. Let's see if it attracts bigger businesses down there. Let's put it on 52nd Avenue South and see if it attracts bigger businesses down there, or more homes, or more investment of some kind. Why are we packing it all in downtown? It's time for incentives to end downtown Fargo. They no longer need them. Downtown is inflated, and the bubble's going to burst, and I don't want to see it happen to our city again. You're going to see downtown look like it did in 2000, and I don't want that to happen. All right, so the second thing we did was we closed the TIF on the Island Park ramp. It'll close this year, which is a good thing. Now, but it's important to point out that this TIF was on the books for 40 years. I'm going to do it the other way. 40 years was this thing's on the books. I'm 35 years old, okay? This TIF was on the books when my parents were thinking about having children, okay? So that's how long it's been going on. That's far too long. That's why incentives are out of control, because the government can't take it. They just go overboard, and they offer way too many incentives for way too long of a time period. 40 years is clearly too long to have an incentive on one building that you'll never get a return on investment there. So that was too long. I voted to close it, yes, but it should never have been on that property for that amount of time anyway. The third thing is a report on TIFs. So of course it's all roses and sunshine. Whenever we tell you about how TIFs are doing, we're going to say, look, we had nothing here, we put a TIF on there, now there's something there, therefore the TIF worked. That is fuzzy, okay, that's pretty fuzzy. Are you telling me that over 40 years there wouldn't have been anything where the Island Park ramp is right now? In 40 years there wouldn't have been any kind of investment there? No one would have built a skyscraper, no one would have built a rhombus, guys, no one would have built anything there on that property that would have been paying taxes that entire time period? The only reason there's anything on that property downtown Fargo is because we put a TIF on there? That is absurd to assume that. So when we give you a report about how grand these incentives are, I want you people to peel back a little bit, look beyond the talking points and ask yourself, does that make sense? Does it make sense that development was there only because we gave a temporary incentive? Usually these things happen anyway. When we vote against incentives, they almost always go forward with what they were planning on doing anyway. As evidenced by the airport, FedEx said they would come here anyway, and we still give them the incentive. So that was the March 25th, 2019 Fargo City Commission meeting. Please share the videos, tell your friends. Watch how we're spending your tax dollars. The budget's coming up here quickly, so we're going to start spending more and more, and hopefully people are watching us. Thank you.